Welcome to Dutchess County, in the heart of the Hudson River Valley. Located only 75 miles north of New York City, Dutchess County is home to an abundance of historic landmarks, restaurants, festivals, and natural scenic beauty. And many of our attractions offer experiential group tours for the visitor looking for an enhanced interactive experience.
What you see here are flying airplanes, living history, more flying antiques than you can see most any other place. We have old cars, motorcycles, and we dress people up in period costumes. One unique feature we have at Old Rhinebeck Aerodrome is that you're able to get up close and personal with all of our gear here. This is a 1909 Blériot. It is the oldest flying airplane in the country, and I will be flying it today in the air show. It's just such an honor, and you can't see anything like this anywhere else. And the piece de resistance would be a biplane ride, of course. We can take 4 people at a time in our 1929 biplane. I hear it taking off behind me right now. And that's an experience that everybody loves.
What was unique about the Vanderbilt Servants Tour was that you actually got to play the part of the Gilded Age servant. And I drew the card of the chambermaid. Fortunately, someone else next to me saw the expression on my face. We traded, and I got to play the part of the second chef.
The Servants and Stewards program at Vanderbilt Mansion National Historic Site is the first opportunity people have had in 70 years to go behind the scenes and talk about the rest of the people who lived here.
Your tour begins as you receive a character card that illustrates your uniform as a Gilded Age servant. You will enter the mansion through the staff entrance, where you begin to walk through the daily life as a servant of the Vanderbilt household. You'll travel through the house behind the scenes, get a chance to see your sleeping quarters and where you'll perform your duties. And most importantly, you'll learn about your relationship to the other servants on the staff and to the family of this grand estate during the Gilded Age. The Field to Fork and Culinary demo at GG Hudson Valley invites groups to get a real taste of local fare and learn about sustainable cuisine.
Everything at GG, particularly here at GG Market, is farm fresh. So what I like to do is take the ingredients that we get from all the local farms and make them come to life on the plates down at the restaurant, here at our cafe at the market, and then in cooking demonstrations showing people how they can use all the farm fresh ingredients that come in every season. One of my goals whenever I write a recipe or use the ingredients of the season is that the recipe reflects that particular snapshot in time, but you can also move through other seasons. So the recipe is also a template, a learning activity to help you become a more liberated cook and cook the great food that's around you.
I hope your ride up from the Stottsburg train station wasn't too rough. Of course, the mansion probably impressed you coming up the marble-chipped driveway, I am sure.
Mrs. Mills prided herself on determining the social elite of her time. Entertaining weekend guests was a regular event for Ruth and Ogden Mills in the Gilded Age. Their luxurious lifestyle is apparent throughout their magnificent mansion on the Hudson River.
The Gilded Age Tour is an opportunity for visitors to come here and see this 79-room mansion as if they were honored guests of Ruth Livingston Mills here at the turn of the century.
What I love about the experiential tours in Dutchess County is groups really get to touch and feel and have a sensory experience of the historic sites. I love them. They're great.
The Franklin D. Roosevelt Presidential Home Library and Museum is one of the most popular sites in Dutchess County.
The home of Franklin Delano Roosevelt now offers an enhanced group tour. The tour includes some handheld props, some audio, and some stories about FDR as a child growing up here at Springwood.
Discover what fostered the heart and mind of America's 32nd president and his deep connection with the American people as the only president elected to 4 terms. FDR once said, "All that is within me cries out to go back to my home on the Hudson River."
The thing I love about a fair is it's something for everybody.
The exciting Dutchess County Fair in Rhinebeck is the largest 6-day fair in New York. Get up close to prize-winning animals. Take a walk back in time at the Antique Museum. Enjoy the rides and delicious food. Explore the agricultural exhibits.
I started out in the 4-H clubs and took agriculture in high school. Went to work on a farm for a while before I got married. Oh, I like coming up in this part here where the agriculture is.
I love to come to this part of it, the flowers. I I love flowers, and I always had flowers in my yard. And I have a few friends who enter, and I'm kind of looking for theirs to see how they did.
And a trip to the fair just wouldn't be complete without a tasty milkshake from the 4-H Club, who serve over 25,000 milkshakes each season. Dutchess County Fairgrounds also plays host to numerous festivals and events each year. Get truly acquainted with the Hudson Valley's Dutch heritage at the 1752 historic Joseph Horton House. Your charming host, John and Cynthia, prepare an authentic Dutch colonial high tea, entertain you with live music, and take you on an intimate tour of their house. Your group may also select an activity, such as soap making or wool spinning. Visit Horton House anytime for lunch, dinner, or seasonal event available throughout the year.
Wilderstein is a time capsule of the Victorian era, and it's a must-see destination for people who visit Rhinebeck and Dutchess County.
Home to the Suckley family, descendants of the Beekman and Livingston families, Wilderstein was residence to Daisy Suckley, a cousin and confidant to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose Hyde Park home is nearby. This Queen Anne home features original 1888 interiors, a Calvert Vaux design landscape, and hosts a special exhibit each year. For example, the CPR exhibit, highlighting the conservation, preservation, and restoration of this grand historic site. Mount Goulian Historic Site, settled by the Verplanck family in 1730, includes artifacts dating back to the Wappinger Indians, the Dutch colonials, and the Revolutionary and Civil War eras. The White Glove Tour permits groups to examine artifacts, letters, and documents up close to learn about the Verplanck family homestead firsthand.
Just to be able to feel and touch the items that people held in their hands hundreds of years ago is very touching to me.
Your visit to Mount Goulian may also include the interactive Living Legacy Tour, honoring the life of escaped slave James Brown. His journals help visitors get a rare glimpse of his daily activities while employed as a gardener to the Verplanck family. Millbrook Vineyards and Winery is considered one of the top wineries in New York and the Hudson Valley's first vinifera vineyard. Their new experiential tour offers groups an enriching, multi-sensory experience and an insider's peek into the art of winemaking. You can shop for award-winning wines, enjoy the loft gallery exhibits, and take in an outdoor lunch overlooking the quiet pond. Afterward, relax and enjoy a vintage wine tasting while you take in the picturesque views of the mountain vista.
The cool thing about the Bridge Music Tour is you get to go up on the bridge and hear the music that I composed using only the sounds of the bridge. And I bring along some mallets, and you get to play along with the music. There are speakers mounted to the towers, and you can hear it, and I explain it to you, show you exactly what I did, and we get to play along with it.
The remarkable history of the Livingstons as the first aristocracy of the Hudson Valley is told through the family's personal belongings at Claremont State Historic Site.
Alice Delafield Clarkson was very proud of the generations of the Livingston family. She brought out all the collections from the barns and the attic and displayed them in this beautiful setting because both Alice and her husband were Livingstons.
This family took wonderful photographs of just their daily lives. So we have things that are almost comparable to modern snapshots that are 100 years old.
Margaret Beekman Livingston's house at Claremont was rebuilt after the British burned it in 1777. Chancellor Robert Livingston's accomplishments included helping to draft the Declaration of Independence, negotiating the Louisiana Purchase, and launching the first practical steamboat. Groups can also enjoy the underwear presentation demonstrating the period clothing of the 18th century, or enjoy a relaxing afternoon lunch on the garden lawn. The village of Beacon has become a mecca for the arts community with an abundance of galleries and gift shops. Dia Beacon Regio Galleries houses a renowned collection of art from the 1960s to the present. And Beacon Studios offers groups a chance to meet the artist in their studios and explore their galleries.
I'm Teresa Gooby, and I'm a mixed media artist. I'm really interested in the idea of how the natural world and the man-made world come together and coexist. So I started looking at trees. I noticed the systems of nature that went into making trees, and I started exploring the idea of trees as line drawings. And that eventually led to the birds and the trees together. And I started producing pieces like this, where I've got an actual tree branch, and then I have these little man-made pieces of birds sort of floating in the trees.
I was fascinated to see if I could turn music into form. I spent about 1.5 years, I'm a computer guy, analyzing the sound wave, looking at the actual digital sound wave and seeing how I might turn it or morph it into surfaces without actually changing it in any way. So I'm always faithful to the music. The music is always there in the form. It's all music I care about, so it started with Thelonious Monk, and then the one Philip Glass piece I've done, the huge one, and then a large Charlie Parker piece. The sound wave is so rich that you can make these surprising surfaces out of it. And
I've been painting my entire life, and I'm very much inspired by the river and water, oceans, particularly the Hudson River, and living in this area. My paintings are all about water and being on the water. I was in Manhattan 10 years, and I knew I wanted to get to a more rural area like my home of West Virginia, and this area kind of reminds me of that. I feel at home here, and I have ever since I first saw it.
We look forward to sharing our experiential tours with your groups. See you soon.